What's up guys, Professor Gustavo here. Today we're going to take a look at the pendulum sweep from close guard, which is one of my favorite sweeps. And I'm going to be breaking down here a rolling session that I had with some of my students. So let's start here with the first example. My student postures up inside of my close guard and he's going to try to get up in order to break my close guard. See that he pulls his right leg up and naturally his left shoulder goes below the line of his right shoulder. Okay, you guys can try this at home. Anytime that you lift one leg up, your opposite shoulder goes down a little bit. Also, is going down quite a lot now because I'm also crossing his left arm here with my arm, right? I'm controlling his wrist and crossing his arm past the center line of his body. So you guys can also try this at home. Anytime that you cross your arm past the center line, that shoulder also goes down a little bit. So the pendulum sweep is going to work by controlling the leg that's posted there and hitting under his armpit with my leg, taking advantage of his off balance already. I'm going to take the guy this way. So I'm going to start getting my arm hugging his leg, which helps to bring my head next to his leg, getting a perpendicular angle. So the leg that was around his waist here from the close guard, I'm going to lift my leg all the way up, hitting underneath his armpit to knock the guy down, breaking his balance. And this is the pendulum leg. I'm going to swing my leg around so it helps me to move my hip out, getting the perpendicular angle, and helps to get my head next to his leg. Once I get that angle, I'm going to chop this leg down towards the mat, taking the guy down and sweeping. See that his shoulder is still misaligned, right? He might feel the threat of an armbar here is trying to block my leg. So that's the good thing about the pendulum sweep. I can always combine the sweep with the armbar. In case I cannot sweep the guy down because he has a good base, I can always use the pendulum leg that I swinged here. Instead of dropping this leg down, I can come around if he's still up, right? If I couldn't take him down. It's always a nice combo, pendulum sweep and armbar. But he was off balance. His shoulder is below the level of the other shoulder, which means he's off balance. So I'm going to just chop underneath his armpit and I'm going to start coming up on top. Now, usually on this scenario, I would take the mount position right away. But we're just playing here a little bit, so I'm going to still insist a little bit and try to pass or try to work my leg around his head for the armbar. He kind of sits up again, so I just rock back and forth, coming on top again, and we are there with the pendulum sweep. Right? I could pass my leg over, I could try to take the mount, but at the moment I'm just trying to adjust the position and see what's the best option. He's still trying to come up and he sits up all the way. So I'm gonna do the pendulum sweep again. He has no base, right? I'm controlling his far leg and his near leg here is stuck underneath his body. But because he's sitting up, I need a little more momentum to bring the guy down again. So I'm gonna do a big swing with my right leg here, creating the pendulum again, moving my head next to his leg again, becoming perpendicular so I can take the guy down. Look, the pendulum leg there, creating the angle. Now I'm completely perpendicular to him. I'm gonna hit right here underneath his armpit to bring the guy down, right? That's the classic pendulum sweep. Coming on top again, and then, like I said, we can always decide here what to do. I can attack the armbar, I can come up into the mount position. Usually the mount is best used right after he falls down. As he's falling down, I'm going to the mount. Other scenario, my other student, he's posturing up inside of my close guard again, and he's gonna get up immediately, not wasting any time. He adjusts his hand on my chest under my armpits and he's getting both legs up. So the pendulum sweep works when the guy has one knee up, one knee down, both legs up, standing up, or both knees down. We're gonna see later. Now, because he has both legs up, his shoulders are parallel to the mat, so he's not off balance yet. And I cannot cross his arm past the center line because he's hugging here underneath my armpit. So his hands is stuck. I cannot really move his hand, but I'm gonna still go to the pendulum sweep. I'm gonna control his far leg there, move my head next to his leg, all the same stuff, getting perpendicular. But he's gonna feel the threat of the armbar. See that I'm getting the angle and hitting underneath his armpit here. This leg is about to get passed around his head for the armbar, so he feels the threat. And what he does, he brings his head down and he drops his left shoulder below the level of his right shoulder, trying to defend the possible armbar, which puts him off balance, and I'm ready to sweep him with the pendulum sweep. I hit underneath his armpit. My leg was close to his head here because I still have the option to pass over his head for the armbar, but I feel that he's already off balanced and I can just take him down. Again, like I said, ideally I would like to come immediately to the mount position, but we're just playing here a little bit. I can try to work my armbar or decide what's best in this situation. Now another scenario, he's inside of my close guard. He's gonna pose his right leg, trying to get up again, and I'm gonna start setting up my stuff. I'm gonna control his arm, and I'm gonna get my arm under his leg. He feels that, so he's gonna come back now and get both knees on the ground, trying to prevent the sweep, right? I'm able to break his grip. I'm gonna start crossing his arm past the center line. So he's already dropping his left shoulder, trying to prevent the armbar. He's pointing his elbow to the outside, trying to block my hip, making it harder for me to swing my leg around and catch his head. But because I have my arm underneath his leg, I can really swing my leg around, pendulum my leg around, getting a nice angle and taking the guy down. In order to prevent the arm bar, let's go back here, he's dropping his left shoulder, right? Because he wants to drop his elbow tight against my body, so in order to prevent my pendulum, but he's breaking his own balance. I still can get the angle because I have my arm underneath his leg. I just pendulum around and I'm coming back on top again.